What is up, YouTube? My name is Daniel and you are tuned into my channel, Life with Dan, where we go into different business topics like stock market investing, entrepreneurship, finance, life decisions, etc. Whew, what a heck of an election week it's been these last couple of days, guys. It has been something else to watch all this unfold. My honest expectation was that by this point in the week we would know who the president was going to be. My idea for the video was kind of to make a video about what the market, what stocks will look like going forward under the new president or continuing president. But obviously we don't have an answer on that yet. Doesn't seem like we will for the next couple of days, possibly even weeks. Hopefully it doesn't go that far, but it does seem like there's a lot of craziness going on with getting the count done in states like Nevada, Pennsylvania, and whatnot. So what I decided to do to adjust for that with this video is to kind of go over some refreshing fundamentals that we as investors, especially newer investors, should keep in mind. So we'll be going over some do's and don'ts with regards to our stock market portfolios that, in my opinion, we should keep in mind as we get ready to make moves depending on who gets elected president. Again, like I always try to mention, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not really licensed to give financial advice or anything like that. So do take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's more so for entertainment, more so to just put my own opinions out there, and do definitely do your own research before you buy into any stocks. With all that said, guys, let's not waste any more time and get into all that right after the intro. So considering the stock market has been doing pretty well the past 2 days, I think it's important to start with this specific topic as the first don't. One thing we shouldn't do, regardless of who wins president and regardless of how the market moves, one thing we shouldn't do is dive into any random stock just because they all happen to be moving up right now. These past 2 days are a perfect example of what can happen when euphoria starts running rampant and people start diving into all kinds of stocks just because they seem to be going up all around. It starts this frenzy of buying across the board, really. If you were to open your Robinhood app at any point today or even yesterday, you could have just scrolled anywhere and you would have seen green, all over the place. It's rare the stocks that were down. And that just goes to show you it's not like all these companies came out with news that justified their stocks moving up. It was kind of more of a universal thing, people just kind of reacting in general. Whatever had people feeling good about the election and whatnot, just the buying started going crazy. If the fundamentals aren't there for that company, when all this euphoria fades away, your stock could end up getting hit once the amateurs, the traders and whatnot, once they're done with that stock and they dump it off their portfolios. You have to try to think outside these couple of days where the stocks are having bull runs. Just because right now stocks are seeming to go up doesn't mean that next week or 2 weeks from now they're going to be doing the same thing. A 6 to 7% move is nice, but think about what could happen if you buy into a stock that really moved with no justification at all, and it adjusts in a couple of days. If you buy into a stock because it was up 10% and you didn't even get to ride that whole 10%, but you're thinking, wow, this stock is up 10% today, it'll probably be up another 10% tomorrow, you'll come to find that that's not really what happens most of the time, guys. Most of the time, we are chasing a bus that has already left the stop, and we are not going to catch it type of deal. It's like the opposite of trying to catch a falling knife kind of thing. So yeah, don't dive into any random stock just because stocks start running up in general. Now, what you do want to do stick to the fundamentals when you're looking at stocks that you want to buy into, and pick stocks that could possibly justify these runs up. Pick stocks that make sense to be going up, like for example, the tech stocks. I know that, there's an argument to be had about whether or not they're overvalued right now and whatnot, but the tech sector, if any, can justify, being overvalued as a stock. So yeah, I want to keep that in mind. Don't jump into anything just cause. Do stick to the fundamentals and pick companies that can justify their stock prices running up. Now to move on to another don't. What you don't want to do if stocks happen to turn the other way and start moving downwards, don't sell out of all your stocks just because things start running down rapidly. You've seen this happen time and time again. I've made this very mistake myself, and I'm sure I've talked about it on this channel. You don't want to sell out of a stock, especially one that you know is good and worth holding, just because it's starting to adjust and correct its stock price a little bit along with the rest of the market. remember, if everything's moving in unison, then no one particular move is really that justified. So the same goes for when things start moving down. What you do want to do on the opposite side of things is you do want to look for buying opportunities when your stock happens to be going down. So for example, if you're a holder of Facebook, it had a great day today, maybe you were feeling euphoric, you start buying. If a couple weeks from now, it's like going down dramatically or something, it's correcting, right? If you really believe in Facebook, you're not freaking out and selling at that point, you're buying more Facebook. You're building your position up so that when it turns right back around, because as a believer in Facebook, that's what you think is going to happen, at that point when it comes back around, your position is bigger and your gains are even bigger as well. So do average down on your positions rather than sell out of them. And as well as averaging down on the ones you already have, if you're looking to buy into new stocks, downtrends is that opportunity to buy into them. So we need to keep that in mind. It's something that we need to remind ourselves as investors. When stocks start going down, don't freak out. That's not the time to sell out of a position, because that ruins all the hard work we put into them. It's time to buy into our positions more and look into buying new stocks that are now cheaper and looking like more attractive deals. To go back to a slightly more controversial don't forget how high tech stocks, to go back to that sector, don't forget how high tech stocks have been running up the past couple of months. The tech sector has been doing quite incredibly, and it's just something to keep in mind going forward, guys, because now that it's been going even more up, the tech sector these past couple of days, I just worry about a correction. Now, I could be completely wrong and they could just keep going up. But I mean, if you step back further than even the last 6 months, guys, if you take, a year step back, tech stocks have been absolutely killing it. Is that justified? Maybe. But I just think, especially on days like today, be careful with the buys. Do try to look for dips if you're going to buy into an expensive company. Do try to wait for those corrections. Keep some cash on hand, and if you are going to buy into tech companies, trickle in. Don't put all of your money in at one time, and that way you can make sure that if there is a correction down the road, if the stock does go down and you happen to have already bought into it, you still have cash aside that you can trickle in to average down your position. But yeah, those are really all the do's and don'ts that I had in mind for this video. Didn't really have too many to go over. I just wanted to put these out there. I was kind of thinking about these things and reminding myself of them, so I thought I'd make a quick video to kind of put that out there for you guys. In case you guys were also getting a little shaky on that trigger finger, getting a little tempted to buy into stocks, that's fine to do so. I just wanted to remind you guys of this information so that you go in smart. But in other news, Bitcoin broke 15,000 today, so that's an interesting bit of information there. As you guys know, I bought into a little bit of Bitcoin not too long ago. I plan on trickling more into there, as time goes on. But it's looking pretty exciting with Bitcoin. There's definitely the possibility of Bitcoin going to 20K, shoot, even higher than that. At some point in 2021. So I'm enjoying that ride as well. But leave a comment down below. What stocks are you guys looking into? What kind of strategies are you guys implementing as we get ready to receive our new president or continuing president? I know that regardless of who gets elected, there's going to be some sort of reaction in the market. So yeah, it's just an exciting thing to contemplate. And I know that I'm sure there's a lot of young investors out there that are, trying to come up with strategies themselves as we try to empower ourselves and seek that financial wealth that we all want. But that's it for this video, guys. Short and simple one. Just a couple do's and don'ts with regards to the market as we get ready to receive our new or continuing president. Let me know if this video was interesting, if you guys have been liking the channel overall. Next week's video will definitely be a lot more value packed. Maybe we'll go into some individual stocks, maybe go into something a little bit more interesting. We'll see. But I appreciate each and every single one of you that has been supporting the Life with Dan channel. Those of you that have recently subscribed, welcome, and I appreciate you guys. I'm glad that I'm at 40 subscribers now, and we're moving on up slowly but surely, guys. But we'll be back next week on Life with Dan with another video. And America, hold on tight. A lot going on, but we're going to get through this. See you guys next week.